what was your course in college?
I took organizational communication in LaSalle.
Was it your choice?
Good question. Actually, I didn't make it in the first round of entrance exams. So, it's medyo
Did it be all
cringe,
we?
but I
Yeah.
actually was in the waiting list.
Okay.
So, I had to list new courses,
Mm-hmm.
and then OrgCom was there, and I got in.
Okay.
So, that's one thing. That's one of my failures that really fueled me to do more and pursue more.
So it wasn't really your choice.
I think it was marketing, so like business,
Right.
more on the business
Yeah.
side. Orgcom is more on the communication arts.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I did it. But yeah, at that time, I didn't make it in the first cut.
Right.
So imagine the fear that I had now. Shit, I'm not that good, I think. I'm not good. So when you ask it, I'm like, oh.
But when we met in 2015 for a talk in a school, we were talking about marketing, right?
Yeah. So my whole life, I'm doing marketing. So it's kind of the same. It's just that organizational communication has human relations, like
Right.
employee relations, and a lot of corp com.
Yeah. Okay. So, but now you've I mean, besides your work with Viber,
Yeah.
you've been there since what?
I've
Since
been with Viber for 4 years.
4 years now.
Yeah.
Since 2018.
Yes.
Okay. And how is it for you?
I'd say it's the best company I've ever been with. They provide you so much autonomy. They let you do things. They let you argue what you want.
Right.
But as long as you stay really accountable and on top of things,
Yeah.
they'll let you be. It's for me, really, it's a really, really good company.
Yeah, funny story. I know you 2015. I have your details and such, and then my friend told me to talk to someone in Viber, and then
Yeah.
your name came up when you texted me. It's like, oh, I know I know this person. I've known her in 2015, and it's really fine because it's not the norm. I don't want to stereotype and such, but in
Yeah.
tech,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
women. I would be talking to someone when it comes to marketing and sales in a different company, but when it comes to tech, like Viber, like a company like that, it's more on men.
So yeah, women globally are underrepresented in the tech industry. Well, for Viber, we're actually very much equal. Like globally, the company has women, all gender
Right.
actually. And in the Philippines, madaming babae.
Oo.
So it's really good. But in other countries, you can really see the gap. So
It is.
it's very evident. So that also why the more I talk about women empowerment, the more I'm exposed to it, the more I find out about it, the more there's need to do something about it.
Yeah, and how is it when connections to mental health awareness in work? Does it have any correlation with your work as well?
Well, I think mental health in general is correlated to every aspect
Even
of our
with work,
lives,
yeah.
right? And Viber was very supportive, is still very supportive when the pandemic happened. And of course, there's this anxiety, depression going on. They have provided support.
Right.
And they're very sincere. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just about the financial support, but you can take breaks, the time is very flexible.
Yeah.
As I said, I mean, I'm not trying to endorse Viber,
Or
but
get-
they're very
yeah.
supportive.
Yeah, I mean, like in Japan, they have a heartache leave.
Yeah,
You know
well,
that, right?
Rakuten kasi owns Viber. So
Okay.
Rakuten, I haven't been there, but
Rakuten is a Japanese company.
it's a Japanese
Okay.
company.
What
It's
does
a
Rakuten?
fintech.
What does Rakuten mean?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
But it is a Japanese
Okay.
fintech company,
Okay.
and their business model is acquiring companies, and one of that is Viber.
Okay, and wow. Okay, so tell me more about your advocacy with mental health awareness.
Yeah.
It's one of the your I think probably one of your priorities in life.
Yeah.
How did it go there for you? Like when did it start? Like you
Um,
started reading books, or was it an
Yeah.
experience and stuff?
Okay, how did it start? Let's start with I've had a lot of trauma in my life.
Right. Don't we all have?
Yeah, that's true, right? And then when the pandemic happened, we were all at home. We were stuck with ourselves, and And then I was facing my inner demons on my own.
Right.
I've always been a go-getter. I've always been active. And the way I handle challenges is that I go out, I explore the world, I do sports, I surf, I do whatever.
I know you're so athletic. You do yoga, right?
Yoga is a
Yoga?
pandemic baby.
Okay.
I hated yoga, because I like boxing, Muay Thai, surfing.
Okay, more contact sports.
Yeah, and
Okay.
more aggressive,
Yeah.
sumisigaw.
Yeah.
But then pandemic happened. I had to be at home. I had to
Right.
move. I had to sweat. I needed endorphins. Then yoga happened. And then yoga became also a very spiritual journey. Like
It is.
I would sometimes cry. Like I would have outbursts, and I didn't know that I had that pain inside of me. It's incredible, right? And that's the more I realize how important mental health awareness is, how important taking care of your mental health issues, how crucial it is to heal. That everyone should take healing seriously.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, whatever pain that we have today, if we don't handle that properly, madadala yan tomorrow, next
Correct.
week.
Yeah.
And our relationships will get affected.
Right. I mean, people think that healing is a phase or a process in life. It's a lifestyle. It's a part of your life. Like
I agree.
all the time, I feel that people are always healing, like from something, from their daily lives and such. It's not like, it's a phase that you go through that, you're healing, becoming better and stronger from that pain that you have. But it's really ongoing. Like being healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's not a diet. That's why
Yeah.
I hate the word diet in work, in life. I believe in better habits instead.
Oh,
Like when you have better habits
yeah.
of eating, even when you go off course for one day, you can go right back on the wheel of being healthy, right?
Totally agree with you. Super perfect the way you said that it's a lifestyle. Just same with physical health.
Right.
Because that's what I always say also, like, because I would go to the gym regularly and then I would yoga regularly. It's
Right.
because it's a lifestyle.
Right.
It's not a crash habit, crash diet na I'm gonna go to the beach, I'm gonna super workout.
Right.
So same with healing, same with mental health. It's something you have to do every day. But of course, there's that moment na talagang medyo purge.
Right.
When you feel like you're so broken, you really have to undergo through, honestly, more pain in facing all those pains, like facing up front the demon in your head saying, you're evil, you're a bad person, you can't do this, no one loves you.
Yeah.
And it's so painful. But when you get through that, and then you actually start loving yourself. And Anton, honestly, it was just the pandemic, I think last year when I started saying and actually believing that I'm proud of myself. I've never said that my whole life.
Right. And I think it's an affirmation for everyone to think that, you love yourself, you appreciate yourself very much, looking yourself in the mirror. A lot of times we don't get to talk to ourselves. We talk
Oh
to a
my
lot of
gosh,
people,
that's
but
so
sometimes
true.
a conversation with yourself is very important. I mean, people think that's crazy, but in fact, it's a good way to talk to your soul, right?
That is so true.
I talk to myself in front of the mirror a lot of times, and my wife would go, "What the F are you doing? Like, why are you talking to yourself and praising yourself in front of a mirror before going to bed?"
Affirmations, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was a cliche, but really the words you use every day, the words you utter, the words you use to describe yourself, it matters so much.
Absolutely.
And I read about this, that your brain cannot distinguish the word you're saying to what you actually mean. So just say you can make it. Just say you're gorgeous, you're really good, you're
Right.
excellent.
Yes.
Maniniwala yung sarili mo.
Right.
So I totally agree with you, and others might find it awkward,
Yeah.
but it's just something that I guess we have to practice.
Awkward means like it's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like me talking like this in front of camera, I've done, I didn't realize we guys have done over 400
Wow.
videos already in less than a year. In less than a year, I've done 400 videos. And looking back on my first like 50 videos, it's so, for me, myself, it was so cringy watching myself. Now, it's like it's if I'm criticizing someone that I don't know. So it's like I'm seeing a different person. Like there's an on and off switch.
Yeah.
Like in real life, I'm not like this. I'm really, quirky and funny and
Uh-huh.
such. But when the lights turn on, like I have a
This is
different
an
set.
alter persona.
I know, right?
Yeah. I
It's like a
totally agree with
newscaster.
you.
I have a lot of friends are in newscasting business, and they're so funny and quirky in real life, but then when it turns on, it's like
I mean,
they're like so in their element,
Beyonce,
right?
she said, they said, I don't know her, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Just timid, but on stage,
Right. She's
Sasha Fierce, like
the solid all out
so I guess we have
performer.
that.
So I think it's very helpful that you do something that's very uncomfortable for you every day.
I agree with you.
And that's why when I'm becoming comfortable now with what I'm doing, I have to do something uncomfortable again because I don't wanna be comfortable where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, when you're working out, right? You're doing it every day and it becomes it's like they call it muscle memory, but actually it's brain memory
Yeah.
because your muscles don't have memory. It's your brain that's saying
Yeah.
you can do that yoga pose over and over again. So you'd have to do something that I have to do it 10 more times so I can get it right.
Yeah, so actually my motto, which really, really changed my life in an amazing way, is do what you cannot.
Right.
I've been trying to live by that since the pandemic started, and I've tried so many things. It's as simple as yoga, for example, or running. I hated running.
I love running.
Now I run at least 5 kilometers almost every day.
Wow.
Dude, even the ice bath I did in Siargao, I don't like cold showers. I know it's healthy,
Oh
but
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
Who pushed you to doing that?
Ali. Hey, Ali.
Okay.
Ali Baromeo. So I was in Siargao. We did the ice bath, literal tub of ice.
Yeah.
You submerge yourself. I was able to do it for 12 minutes.
Wow, that's long. I do it for 5 minutes.
I was
Yeah.
surprised kasi nga I don't like cold showers, but of course all the preparation and I meditated while I was in the tub.
Yeah.
And after that was so reinvigorating that nagawa ko yung mga ayaw ko.
Yeah.
So you're right, like when I'm comfortable, you try new things. You kind of push yourself.
Right.
And then, because sometimes it's really us dictating our limits.
Yeah. And I've read about a few things when it comes to mental health, and I discovered that there are a lot of kinds of mental health. Like, I wouldn't say it's a disorder, but for example, a person who's always anxious has an anxiety disorder if it's happening to them all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of my students have anxiety. Like they think too much over things.
Yeah.
That has not happened yet. That's why I keep on talking about
Yeah.
overthinking,
Yeah.
right? Because it creates anxiety.
Yeah.
Focus on things that has not happened yet, but yet we think it has happened already.
Yeah, and the thing is, we tend to create worse scenarios in our head,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sometimes worse than what it actually can be.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens a lot at work too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Not just at home. You worry about, what will you get promoted? Will your boss say yes to the project that you have? And all. So that creates a lot of, nail biting and
Yeah.
head scratching and sleep
Yeah.
turning at night for a lot of people. What would you say to someone like that?
Well, I think you really have to also understand that overthinking will not really help you right now. So that's also why I started meditating. Because one of the key things that meditation try to teach you is that, okay, at this moment, take a pause, do some breath work. Are you safe right now?
Yeah.
At this moment, are you safe?
Yeah, you mentioned safe. Like, how do you create that safe space?
Ha.
Pun intended.
It's because during the pandemic, the mental health issues, I wouldn't say they have depression medically, but a lot of people were anxious. Ang daming di makatulog. People are
Oo.
scared.
Right.
And the thing is, a lot of these people are scared to talk about it.
Okay.
They're scared to open up. They think they're alone.
Right.
And even when the economy started to open,
Yeah.
people think, okay, less anxiety, less depression, but no. The fact that people think people should be feeling better, the others feel worse because, shit, why am I still feeling like this?
Right.
So I created safe space to let people know that what they're feeling is not wrong.
Yeah.
What they feel is valid. You're not alone. And
Right.
honestly, I was really inspired by my guy friends.
Okay.
Because yung guy friends, sometimes mas nagtatagal yung problems or anxiety because they don't talk about it.
Yeah, they don't talk we don't talk as openly as
as girls, right?
as
So
women
safe
do.
space was really meant for those who think they're alone, what they feel is valid, and it's meant to hopefully motivate them and inspire them.
So the four types of mental health disorder, as I've read, was anxiety disorder. There's psychotic disorder, which is where you really need to get a specialist,
Yeah.
and personality disorders.
Yeah.
You know, there's levels into. You know, we watch like movies of those, right? We're in a
Oo.
what's
Split.
that? Yeah, split personalities.
Oo.
Not just split, like 16 different personalities.
I know.
I forgot that movie, but yeah.
That was Split. I think
Is
that's
it
the
split?
movie. Yeah.
And then also eating is another
Ang dami.
sort of
I'm
disorder. And that's why when
so
when
concerned.
you know, there's a basketball player, his name is Caleb Swanigan, I think, is one of the players he was a former NBA basketball player, played in the NBA for 4 years.
Yeah.
And he went from being like NBA fit to like weighing over 400 pounds last year. And he just died a few days ago from this recording. So he died a few days ago. People won't say what's the reason, but you know, he's clearly going through something, because for you going from physically fit
Yeah.
to being 400 pounds
Yeah.
overweight for a 6'10" guy, you know, that's crazy, right? And you know, people don't understand what people go through, and you know, we've seen
Yeah.
celebrities like those here and happen to them as well. You know?
Yeah, that's really really sad. I had a recent vacation outside of the country, and that just reminded me how much fake social media is.
Yeah.
In a way that, I mean, alam na natin to but the way people portray themselves on social media is that I'm happy, I'm perfect, this and that. I just met eating disorder
Mm-hmm.
is still really happening even at my age.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. Imagine the kids now, the teenagers who are on social media seeing all these perfect Instagram models
Right.
looking amazing in everything they wear. And then, sorry to say, but there's a lot of cosmetic surgeries being pushed on Instagram as ads.
Yeah.
Bundle that and what they see. Imagine the insecurity they feel. Imagine, I should not eat. I should.
Right.
It's so concerning. It's so concerning.
What would you tell someone who goes through that kind of stage?
If you are a teenager or, you're
Yeah.
maybe Gen Z,
Mm-hmm.
I really hope you can talk to someone who's not a Gen Z, like medyo you look up to, and
Yeah.
listen to the person and understand that, of course, how you look is important, how you carry yourself is important.
Yes.
I was so much insecure when I was younger. I still am right now, but I realize that honestly, it might be cliche, but your flaws can be your greatest asset.
Right.
I hated my nose.
Yeah. So it's what makes you unique.
Yeah, I hated my nose so much before. And then when I grew up, people would compliment it. I hated how skinny I was.
Yeah.
I don't like my color. I don't like that I'm balbon and so many things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it made me stood out in a way.
Yeah. So
And-
you appreciate yourself more.
Yeah. And if I don't look okay, then don't like me, fine.
Right.
But of course, it takes experience and things like that. And second thing, to everyone, especially the younger people, you're always on your social media. Especially in the Philippines, we are the most active social media
Yeah.
users in the whole world.
Right.
I beg you, please follow accounts that inspire you, not just physically, but people who are changing the world, creating a bigger impact than themselves.
Right.
Because how you expose yourself to the media, how you consume content every day, affects the way you think, affects what you say, affects who you are, and eventually it kind of defines who you are.
Yeah. I mean, most of the people, you know, there's a common habit of people is like they go to social media to make themselves feel happy, or
The dopamine boost.
right,
Yeah.
and feel better. They keep on scrolling and stuff. They look for things that make them happy to make themselves feel better. And it ends up, you know, after an hour scrolling, it makes them feel worse about
Yeah.
themselves. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I always ask people, after scrolling mindlessly through social media for about an hour, what do you feel? Do you feel from 5, do you become a 7? It's rare that someone goes up. It's most of the time it stays that way, or lowers down a little. Like you see someone else, same batch as you in high school, and he or she does better than you,
Yeah.
and say, "Man, I hate my life," because this guy, I was better than him in high school. I was the varsity, and then this one was the loser. And now look at him.
You end up
Yeah.
comparing.
So
You get so pressured in life. I also don't know. Me, even myself, I don't remember a time I felt better with social media.
Yeah.
I've always felt better away from my phone. And funny, I just started reading the book Deep Work by Cal Newport.
yeah, Cal Newport.
So I started working on the ground floor. So I would leave my phone in my room and I would go downstairs.
Yeah.
I feel so light. I feel like I'm also extra productive.
Right.
And apart from that, because the attention na nakukuha ng phone, right? Like you always just grab it.
Yeah.
And it just binabawasan yung focus mo in your current work and your energy nababawa. It's just doesn't help
I've read
much.
also in I think it on that book or another book that when we check our phone, it's like it's what we call like a slot machine effect. Like we keep on pressing it to check because
yeah.
there's always something different, right?
Yeah.
So we see if there's anything new, like someone commented on my post,
Yeah.
or is there a new news that came up, breaking news and stuff, or someone messaged you on Messenger and stuff. So it's like every time you pick up your phone, there's something different for you. So it's that same effect that it does for a person who plays the
Slot
slot machine.
machines.
It's like every time you press, it's something different. It will never be the same,
That's true.
right?
Actually, I think I coined this term one time that you use your phone for distraction, right? But that distraction is also equivalent to your destruction.
Right.
It kind of sounds morbid, but it's true. If you always let things distract you,
Yeah.
it's going to be so hard for you to achieve your goals.
Right. Yeah.
And we always want that instant gratification, seeing something new, feeling rewarded because there's a comment.
Right.
But what does it really do to you?
Yeah.
Right? You even sometimes become lethargic.
Right. I've learned how to do actually phone detox. So every Friday night at 10 p.m., I put it in a Ziploc bag and put it away.
Ginagawa mo yon.
Yeah, I put it away. So it's off. It's not on, what do you call this? It's not on airplane mode and such. And then I put it in another room. And I pick it up on a Saturday, 6 p.m.
Really?
The next
Wow.
day, 6 p.m. onwards. Yeah.
Wow.
So that for me, it's a time for, because when you have nothing to do, you do
Phone,
something
phone,
else. So,
phone.
I realize now it takes so much mental fortitude for you to be lining up in a bank or in a restaurant outside and then not touching your phone.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
Yeah.
when you're lined up, you get your phone, you look at it, and yeah, you're waiting. So it kills off the time. Instead of you focusing on your thoughts and what you're
Yeah.
thinking, instead, so now you're focused on something else, so you're distracting yourself. So now I can, sit down and just enjoy my coffee
Oh my gosh, yeah.
without looking
Yeah.
at something in front of the screen and just focus on what's in front of me. That's
You
why
do?
I made a post before. I said it as a third person. There was a guy in a coffee shop just drinking his coffee at 3 p.m., staring at nothing,
And for other people,
like a
that's
psychopath.
weird. Yeah, yeah.
Like
I
a
understand.
psychopath.
I understand. Because I would do this.
That was me.
I would, I had exactly the same thoughts. Because I would sometimes, where I live, I would just stare at the sunset.
Right.
I would stare at nature. One of the persons who called me out was my mom. Like, ano ginagawa mo?
Oo.
Pinapanood ko yung sunset.
Yeah.
She was like, huh?
Yeah.
And then sometimes I would just get weird looks from people. And I was just like that. Because I really like nature.
Yeah.
And just watching it is soothing, right? Enjoying the coffee, enjoying food without the distraction.
The digital distractions.
You get to appreciate it more. It's just that, people think you're weird because you're different. But honestly, who cares?
Yeah.
If you're happier,
Yeah.
there's bliss, right? There's just that di mo ma-explain.
Right. And I realized that, over time when, we have to post whatever we're eating and sharing everything to the world, sometimes you just have to enjoy that actual moment. Remember that when you go to concerts that you take videos of
Yeah.
what's happening instead of just
Yeah.
looking at what's happening, instead of going like this and
Yeah.
So you should be just enjoying that moment because those moments will last forever instead of you.
That's true.
Because who shares like fireworks or a concert on
Yeah.
right? It's rare that
Yeah.
you would do unless you're doing event coverage.
Yeah, I agree
Right?
with you. There was this post. Everyone was in a concert, and everyone was on their phones except grandma. She was just like that,
See?
and she was the one having the most fun
Right.
because she was in the moment. Like I think that's one thing, the power of now.
Right.
Like even now, this Anton at this moment, this
Yeah.
will never happen again.
Right, definitely.
And
Not
I
the same
really-
thing.
right? I
Yeah.
enjoy this talking to you. Very first time me
Thank
having
you.
this microphone in front of my face, and it's liberating. And I try to even when I had my Moderna vaccine, my second was so heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy in the
It
arm,
was
for
so
sure.
heavy.
Right.
And then I'm like, I cannot work out. But then also, this is the first time I'm experiencing this heaviness. I'm gonna sit through it and not enjoy the pain. That sounds
Yeah.
wrong. But it will pass away. It's
Right.
not gonna happen again.
Right.
And just that, you get to enjoy every moment more.
Absolutely. And it actually helps in destroying overthinking because you're focused on now. What's
Yeah.
happening here. Instead of
Yeah.
your mind wondering, okay, how about my meeting afterwards? What's gonna happen there? But instead you're focused here on now. Instead of should I check my phone first while he's talking so that I can do something? Right? That's how people are nowadays.
You know, that's
like,
that's something I really had to practice when I started meditation. Because when you meditate, you're just with your thoughts, you're sitting still. And if you're not sanay, lahat papasok, lahat
Yeah.
ng dapat mong gawin, lahat. But then, really, like, if it's really important, would you forget about it? What could happen if you do it 10 minutes from now?
right. Yeah.
And that's when, again, the power of now, like not overthinking. And of course, we're not promoting not planning things, not at all.
Yeah.
Just
Spontaneous.
don't ruminate. Overthinking would give you more problems
Yeah.
than help you.
That's why I always say that I plan my day the night before.
Same, yeah.
Like I put my top 3 priorities on my notebook and say, okay, this is the first thing I'll do, second thing, and third thing. And those are not tasks. Those are things that I want to do differently for that. Not meetings and what. These are not like checking emails or responding.
Yeah.
It's not a task. It's a responsibility that we do, and people mistake tasks with responsibility and
That's
something
a very nice idea.
in how you see yourself growing. Because checking your emails, responding to people, it's not going to make you grow.
It's not.
Right?
That's
Those are
that's
things
very
that-
true.
Right? We do those things every day. And I was like, I was doing this until for the longest time. Like, I came from the BPO industry, and every 15 minutes I would have the habit of checking my emails, when there was a point wherein push notifications became a reality on a
Dude,
BlackBerry.
I disabled my push notifications.
I'm done. Like,
It's all
that was
off.
it. I was trapped. I was trapped in an addiction wherein you get the email that you have a need to respond to it in your BlackBerry. You get the BBM message back then you have to automatically respond to that right away, and it's instant.
Yeah.
It connects people, but at the same time it disconnects you from yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. I actually had 2 things while you were saying those things. It's ang galing nung sinabi mo that at night you write your plans the next day. It's not necessarily tasks.
Right.
It reminded me of what James Clear said, that when you create habits, it's more of ask yourself, who do you want to be rather than what do I have to do?
Right.
Because when you figure out who you want to be, you will realize the things you have to do.
And what's your priority?
Yeah, your
Like,
priority.
yeah.
And, saying no to things
Yeah.
allows you to do more
That are
important
not
things.
important to you.
Yeah.
If it's not gonna help you grow, or it's not gonna help your goals one step closer to your goals, then it's gonna be helpful for you. If not, then it's not a priority then.
Oo, pero the thing is, it's kind of easy to say but really hard to say
Yes.
no to a lot of things,
Right.
right? It's really something we have to practice.
Saying no is a superpower. Do you believe that?
I agree, yeah. Dude, that was my... So I would write birthday wishes every year. And I think 2 years ago, I said, say no to more things.
Right.
And then I really... Because I would write it in a paper, not digital. Paper, look at it, sign it with the date and time, keep it in my wallet.
Yeah.
And I would check it once in a while.
Yeah.
And I said no to a lot of things, and it's just the freedom that I got.
Yeah.
Just as simple as limiting the information that gets to me is so liberating.
Right.
Also, just going back to because I really like what you said about writing what you want to happen the next day, setting intentions.
Yes.
Like even every day could be the before you sleep or when you wake up. What's your intention for that day?
So now you have purpose.
Yes,
You woke
right?
up excited because these are my priorities.
Yeah, and
these
you
are
know.
important to me.
You
Right?
know it. You're not gonna get easily derailed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. And also I've also added into that like 3 priorities. Like what am I thankful for that day? It's one
That's
thing that
really
I
great.
did.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the additional habits I have. Like that's why I have a notebook wherein just a one-liner. Like I'm thankful that I got to eat in this place that I wanted to eat. You know, that simple thing. Or that
That's so
I
true.
got to text, you know, with my best friend for that day.
Yeah.
These are things we, you know, disregard and
Yeah.
such. Being able to communicate with people even in far distances and stuff.
That's why it's really important, as you said a while ago, to have a conversation with yourself,
Yeah.
to assess how things are and see the simple things like that. It's important talaga to have alone time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I know a lot of people, they can't be alone with themselves.
Yes.
And I think that is a huge problem.
Yeah.
It's something you have to take seriously.
Yeah, and being alone, I've learned as well, it's not a weakness. It's a strength.
Not. It
It's
is a strength.
If you're a person that can be alone with your thoughts and be able to meditate on it and sit on it still, you know, being still with you and your thoughts,
Yeah.
that's a strength that most people don't have.
Totally agree with you.
And it's like I would say brain memory in you that you have to develop. Like I didn't know what meditation was. What I knew with meditation back then was just, you know, some Indian ritual,
chant,
right?
mga
Like you're
ganon,
chanting and
oo.
stuff. But no, it's just you closing your eyes and just being blank,
Yeah. Like,
blank, nothing, with nothingness.
it could even be, sometimes people do walking meditation,
Yeah,
but they're alone
yeah,
and they just wander. And it really, I think people should not underestimate the power of being with yourself.
yeah,
And this is very, very suitable for Manila people. Hi guys. Us who are always on the go, who are actually career driven.
right.
I always say the busier you get, the crazier your life is, the more breaks you have to take.
Yeah, correct. Because when you're busy, you don't have time now to focus on your personal growth.
Yeah.
Like working out for you now will not be a priority, or you know, reading books for an hour every day is not going to be a priority, or you know, seeing your friends is not a
Yeah.
priority, right? Like if you really want to see a friend, you know, you would make time for it. Like it's just that I don't believe in busy. It's just that it's not a priority,
I agree with you.
right? Like
I agree with you.
if you wanted to go to the gym and you don't, it's because it's not a priority,
I have always said you can never find time. You have to make it.
right? And
So yeah.
the worst thing you can say as a person is that you are busy, because when you say that, it deprives you of opportunity, right? When you say you're busy, the world, it's like you telling the universe that I'm not available for anything that will help me grow. It's like, okay, because you could have told me, Antonio, no, I can't do today because I have a meeting at this time, and then
Yeah,
I
but
can go.
I made sure this
Right?
is going to happen.
Right? You
Yeah.
can always say no. You can always say no. And yes, that's true. But you know, when you commit to something that you said that you would actually do, and you come through it, you know, it makes you a person that's really living a life that's full of your intentions.
Yes.
Right? And
yeah.
this is something that you wanted to do because this is your intention. This is maybe not your purpose or what, but this is something you're passionate about. You
I am.
enjoy.
Yeah.
It's not a task anymore for you, right? Like
Imagine if I didn't say no to last night's, they wanted to drink.
Right.
Then maybe I wouldn't be here because I'm puyat, I'm drunk, I'm just not
yeah,
ready.
you're not sober.
Yeah, so like really just saying no to things that are not important to you or does not contribute to your growth, to
Right.
your best self,
Yeah.
allows you to do more. Like this, like now I'm here.
Right. And most people who are in the corporate world, like for example, you are in, you have a career and stuff. Most people, they focus on Fridays and Saturdays because it's a way to reset and start
Yeah.
again. If you're that type of person, I always tell that to all my students, that if you're always looking forward to weekends, then maybe it's the 9 to 5 that you have right now is not something that's really good for you. I mean,
I agree.
it may be good for your finances and stuff because you're getting something on the 50th and 30th, but is it really something you want to do for the rest of your life? And I always ask the questions. I don't suggest to them.
Yeah,
I make them
yeah.
think about it and say, make them go, Because the job of a coach, I always say, is not to give you the best advice, but to give you the best questions that you yourself can answer.
Yeah.
Because you yourself know yourself more than I ever will. Because you are always with yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not there with you sitting there with you, gonna tell you like, hey, stop eating rice, or hey, stop
Yeah.
eating that junk food, or hey, you need to read more books and stuff. I'm not there.
Agree.
So, like in the book of James Clear, you don't need motivation, you don't need inspiration, you just need better sets of habits, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like super agree with you. Especially with the questions, as I've mentioned in our Instagram live, it's sometimes better to have better questions than having all the answers, because it makes you dig deeper into
Yeah.
yourself and makes you discover new things
Yeah.
and just expose yourself to a whole lot of possibilities.
Right.
So yeah, and a lot of people, and of course, talking to someone who would ask the right questions
Yeah.
would make them think better.
And,
So,
and,
yeah.
and nowadays I say I don't know more often now than I say, yeah, I know. I know.
It takes confidence also and
Right.
maturity to be
Yeah.
able to admit and
And I'm
tell
wrong.
people you don't know and
Yeah.
admit you're wrong.
Right. And I was that for a majority of my life, like, yeah, I know. I know, even if I don't know.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
a lot
I
of people
understand that.
suffer through that because it's become a habit.
We're also kasi scared to get judged.
Right.
Oh my God, kung di ko alam, would they think I'm stupid?
Yeah.
But
Like, oh my God, you haven't watched Top Gun yet? Something like that, right? Like, oh my God,
Yeah,
you haven't
yeah.
watched that movie yet? Like, you're out.
uh-oh.
Right? And that fear is what keeps us saying, yeah, I know. Yes, I know. Right?
I'm so happy to share that with you na we're just not scared to say that we don't know or we haven't.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I mean it's like that. You don't have to know everything
Yeah.
to be a great person.
Right.
And it takes humility and it takes honestly maturity
Right.
to be able to say it and not care about what others people
Yeah, the
would
key
think.
word is maturity.
Maturity, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be doing that for sure if, you didn't have that maturity level in you
Yeah.
yet.
But
right?
takes a lot. Takes experience.
Yeah.
Takes I don't think a person will be born with maturity. You develop it.
And we talked about previously about the development years like of a person, right? In terms of, being empowered. You talked about
Yeah.
women empowerment before and you said about the forming years and the importance of that. And it's
Yeah.
very interesting that you said like in like the teen years, the 13, 14,
Yeah,
15 to 19. Those years are the forming years, especially not just for women, but
For
for everyone.
Because these are the years that you are finding out who you are. You're trying new things. You're in a school, let's say co-ed or not. You're just really exploring
Yeah.
and
Finding what you like.
finding what you like. Am I gonna go with the trend? Am I gonna go
Yeah.
against the norms? Things.
Yeah.
You're having your friends. You're doing your decisions. Because you're not at home. You're not with your parents. You get to do things on your own.
Yeah.
But this is also the time that hopefully the environment would really encourage empowerment in
Right.
general. Of course, in any gender, but to be specific with my advocacy, women empowerment, that they can do anything. And as I've mentioned, why are men known to be more resilient than
Yeah.
women? Why are men known to be more competitive than women? It's because at a young age, boys were encouraged to do team sports.
Right. Team sports.
Na contact sports pa nga eh.
Oo.
Football,
Oo.
soccer,
So
basketball.
they're used to winning and losing. When you lose, you get back up and say, okay, let's do another one.
Yeah, right?
And another one.
And losing is not bad. It's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing that could happen to you.
Yeah.
You lose today, practice more, you win tomorrow maybe. But girls, hindi masyadong team sports.
Yeah.
So we were not exposed so much to losing.
Yeah.
Actually losing and failing are very, very important things that you have to have in your younger years, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So when you grow up, you can apply all the learnings and you can know that if I fail now, ang sakit, but I will learn. I can apply the learnings and be better.
Right.
So yeah.
There was this something in the book Tuesdays with Maury.
Oh, I love
You
that.
know the book, right? And
Yeah.
and like he was walking with his friend, right? His student, and there was a group cheering, "We are the champions! We're the champions! We're winners! We're the best!" And he responded back to them, "What's wrong
Yeah.
with being in second place?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
yeah.
being in second place? It's not bad, like,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, ano talaga, it really is how you see things. Like, perspective is everything. There's a lot of, this is where social media for me comes in handy in a good way, when I see inspirational images
Yeah.
of how you can see things half full and half empty. So it really is the way you see things. And again, people our age think that failure is okay. Like, medyo alam na natin that failing is part of being successful.
Yeah.
But when I spoke to a young girl, she was in college, and I told her, it's okay to fail. She was like, ate, ano
Yeah.
ka ba? Hindi, yung parents ko.
Yeah.
She was just like so surprised
Right.
of me saying very calmly, it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about being a rebelde. Not that. It's you doing your part, you practicing, you doing your best.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't reward you at that moment, you're not gonna start from scratch. You're gonna start from there.
What are your 3 wishes?
Okay. Honestly, I would really want people to prioritize healing. Like, take healing seriously. Just to expound.
As a lifestyle.
As a lifestyle, just
Not a
to
phase.
expound a bit, it's because when you're not healing, your decisions are based on pain, on fear of getting judged, fear of getting isolated. So the way you decide things is not out of love. So for example, you're not gonna be accepting of someone's love for you. You don't think you're good, so you're gonna, let's say, crab mentality, pull other people down.
To bring yourself up.
Yeah, so take healing seriously.
Okay.
Deciding out of love can do so many good things.
Okay.
So that is for the world, and I don't want to be Miss Universe answer, but that really is my answer.
Yeah.
Second, well, for myself and my family, abundance. I've never wished abundance in my whole life because I honestly think I didn't deserve it before. But I am manifesting abundance in personal and finances. And 3, I guess my wish is that for all the young girls watching this, for you to know that you can do whatever you want and you can actually demand
Absolutely.
so much. And rather than saying, I cannot do this because I'm a girl, say that I can do this because I'm a girl. That's it.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Anton. This is so uplifting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See?
Thank
That's it.
you.
That was awesome.